Good morning, Abundant Life Church. This is Pastor Chris. Today we're going to wrap up our study on John chapter 5, verses 24 down through 32. Jesus had healed a man by the pool, and the Pharisees didn't like it because he healed on the Sabbath. So his answer is basically, I'm God Himself, and I can heal on the Sabbath, and I am going to decide where people spend eternity. And this all brings us to the question, if Jesus is the most important decision we'll ever make, why do some people not follow him? And unfortunately, the answer is always because of how they are treated by the followers of Jesus, by us. So, what will it take on our part to change this and to start getting more people to decide to follow Jesus? Now, if oftentimes their decision is based on how we treat them, then we have to remember this is very important what our job is and what our job isn't. That's the problem with the religious leaders of Jesus' time. It was their job to shepherd people, it was their job to lead them to God and to teach them, but instead they became self righteous, legalistic, came up with a bunch of rules just so they could catch people breaking their rules, like they did with Jesus. Meanwhile, they missed out on doing what they were actually supposed to be doing. They weren't leading people to God. They weren't on the people's side. All right, what's our job today? Our job is not to be critics. Our job is not to be hosts of political call-in shows. Our job is not to be the one who's always right on Facebook and always giving our opinion. Our job is to let people know how important the decision is to come to Jesus. Our job is to let people know that they have hope. And if this decision is really that important, then we have to do this the right way and not allow anyone to be distracted from following Jesus by our behavior, by being self righteous or holier than thou. We're not hall monitors, we're ambassadors, and that's important. All right. Second, we need to stop worrying, to really stop overacting whenever somebody might disagree with us. We live in angry times. I blame a lot of it on social media. I blame a lot of it on we have it's so easy to communicate and have access to current events and what have you nowadays, but also it's very easy for politicians, for leaders, for people trying to sell you their product, to sell you their stuff by getting you angry. Stop falling for it. We need to stop being annoyed constantly and stop overacting or overreacting, excuse me. Now, maybe overacting is the right word. Whenever anybody disagrees with our opinion. Nobody likes to be disagreed with. I mean, we hate it when anybody expresses a different opinion than us. It's because of this insecurity. We're not really that sure that we're right. And when somebody says, hey, you're not right, well, we get into either fight or flight. Too many times it's easier to get into fight. Okay, and now the debate is going on. This is what fuels Facebook. This is what fuels every single political election. You know what? We even get a little angry over the argument about whether or not it's okay to have pineapple on pizza. By the way, it is. Here's my advice. Stop it. Stop worrying somebody might disagree with you. Of course, people are going to disagree with you. Happens all the time. Most of the time, it's just preference. You know what they say, wherever two or more are gathered in his name, there's 9 or 10 different opinions. Okay, just deal with that. Your job isn't to get people to think like you. Your job isn't to get people to vote the way you do. Your job is to let them know what you have found in Jesus and that they are welcome too. It's their decision to follow Jesus. But as a good ambassador, you're letting them know this is what worked for me. All right. Lastly, I think we need to be so full of love that it spills out onto everyone and everywhere. Right now, people are so full of anger, so full of irritation, and that's contagious. But love is also contagious. Be so loving that you make people's day better. because they ran into you. That's the only way you're ever going to draw people to the most important decision they are ever going to make. The best way we can get others to accept Jesus is to show them love. It comes down to love. If we love people, they will see Jesus as love and they will come. I want to talk to you about two guys uh, that I know. One of them is the reason I became a Christian. The other one is the reason I almost stopped being a Christian. I grew up going to church, but it wasn't until I was in youth group that church was fun. We played games. We had cute girls at youth group. We had all kinds of fun. I really liked youth group, but Tony Oropeza was just this amazing human being. He worked with us junior hires. We loved Tony. He was so much fun to be with, and he actually liked us. Most adults really don't want to hang out with junior high kids. Tony did. And I remember one Sunday night, we always had youth group. It was always high school and junior high, and then the junior highs would go off by themselves. The high schoolers would go off by themselves. But we usually would play a game together. And on this particular day, we'd gone across the street. There was a little softball field there, and we were playing softball. And Tony got all the junior hires together after the game, and he said, "You know what we ought to do? Let's go fill our mouths with water in the drinking fountain and spit it on the high schoolers." Now, if you say that to a bunch of junior high boys, how long do you think it takes to talk junior high boys into that? I'd say about 1/100th of a second. So we ran off, we got our mouths full of water, and we're spitting it on the high schoolers. Well, of course they didn't like that. They're running and screaming, and everybody was laughing. It was just fun. But the high school leader, this was a college student, his name was Mick, and I will never forget Mick. I don't have a good way to say this. Mick was a jerk. There's just no two ways about it. You knew if Mick liked you or not, because if he liked you, he treated you great. If he didn't, he was just a complete jerk to you. And for some reason, Mick did not like me. I don't think he liked most junior high kids, which makes you wonder, why is he working with youth? Anyways, Mick is standing there as kids are running around spitting water, and he's holding a bat. This is not good. And he's yelling, "Anybody comes near me, I'll hit you." Okay, this is not somebody you want working with your children. And I ran up behind him and I doused him. I got him. And I turned around, I'm sprinting full on, I'm laughing and I'm giggling. I thought it was the greatest thing because I just nailed Mick, big jerk. And all of a sudden, I'm not sure what happened, but my right arm just went numb. And all of a sudden, it got quiet. Nobody was laughing. Nobody was running. Everybody just stopped. I still didn't know what had happened, but my right arm was numb, and then it really started hurting. What had happened is Mick turned and threw a softball at me as hard as he could. I mean, people told me he went right over the top, full on, hard as he could, and he hit me in the elbow. And like I said, at first I wasn't sure if it was broken, and people rushed over to me and I could wiggle my fingers and all this. Nobody was happy with Mick. And his explanation was, well, he shouldn't have been spitting water at people. When you're in seventh grade, you never feel secure about yourself. You never feel like you fit in. And that made me really feel like I I probably shouldn't be coming here. I thought I found somewhere where I could be a part of something. I probably shouldn't be coming. But Tony pulled me aside, talked to me, let me know how wrong that was, how sorry he was this had happened. And Tony's one of these people that could console you and make you laugh at the same time. And I got to laughing with Tony, and I felt a little better, but I was still pretty upset and hurt by this. Tony made sure I came back. Tony called me that week and made sure I came back. I was ready to just give up on going to church because of how Mick acted. I came back because of how Tony treated me. I guess what I'm saying here is make sure you're a Tony, not a Mick. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.